Q&A. That was stupid. I asked you guys what you wanted to know about me, and you answered. Oh man, okay, I like this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions here. Have you and Cody ever talked about marriage? Yes. Yes, we have. I'm not pushing for anything. I'm not one of those people. But yes, we have talked about it. If you could open a shop or restaurant, what would it be? I like that. I think I said it earlier. I actually used to talk about opening a coffee shop with one of my friends when I was younger. And I still think that that would be cool. Except, you know, funny thing now, we know the Black Rifle guys, so they have their own coffee shop. But I don't know, I think that that would be really cool. Either that, or I think that it would be really neat to design a swanky bar. Like something kind of hipstery, but with really good whiskey. What would you cook on Donut's cooking stream? I like that, that's a good question. Probably something foreign. I really like to cook Asian food. My mom and I would cook a lot of different Asian foods. Like we enjoyed cooking Thai food, we cooked Japanese food, we cooked a lot of Indian food. I was very fortunate growing up. My mom liked to try a lot of different foods, and so that kind of rubbed off on me growing up. And I really enjoyed cooking stuff like that with her when I was younger, and so I would probably cook something like that. Besides the mustache, what made you swipe right on Donut's profile? Definitely his picture, and I'm gonna show that to you guys now. It was that picture right there. That did it for me. That's all it took. I was done. He had the orange tabby, I had the orange tabby. It was game over. It was space, it was cats, that was that. Besides Donut, who's your favorite YouTuber? You know, I really never watched YouTube regularly before I met him. And when he told me what he did for a living, I'm like, okay. And like, well, what's your day job? What do you really do? What's your real job? Like, you do YouTube? That means nothing to me, because I didn't really watch YouTubers. I would watch stupid cat videos and stuff like that. Really, the only YouTuber that I watched consistently was Jenna Marbles. And I didn't even I didn't subscribe to her or anything. I didn't subscribe to anybody. I didn't even think I had a YouTube account. And I didn't subscribe to people's channels. I didn't like videos. I didn't comment on them. I didn't even share people's YouTube videos. I would literally just go to YouTube to watch stupid cat videos that were probably stolen from other people, or to listen to music, or like watch music videos. And that was about it. If you didn't end up on social media, what was your life plan? I did not have any plans at all to do social media for a living. Like, I know that I got my degree in IMC, and it seems like this is what I plan to do. Not at all. I wanted to be a music supervisor. I decided in high school really that that's what I wanted to do, even though I started off as an English major and I was like, I'm gonna be a writer. What I really wanted to do was be a music supervisor, and what they do is they choose and license the music that goes into movie soundtracks, TV soundtracks, game soundtracks. I really love music, and I think that a good soundtrack can make or break a scene, or really a production as a whole. But when I was younger, total dork, and I would have movie soundtracks saved to my iTunes library. I loved like the Braveheart score. I had like the Lord of the Rings soundtracks, like the Harry Potter soundtrack. Like I had the CDs. I had the Braveheart soundtrack on cassette tape. Movies with a good soundtrack, like the movie 50/50 has a killer soundtrack. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, I love that one. That's like got a lot of really good indie music. Really any like Judd Apatow movie, he always has great music in his movies. I think I'm just rambling at this point, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a music supervisor because I just think that that's the coolest job. Why is John such a sweet kid? What's it like being a mother figure to someone's kid? Trying times in yours and Donut's relationship and how you moved through them. John is freaking awesome, honestly, because of Donut. He's just done a fantastic job. You know, everyone who meets John, they always say how polite he is and how well-mannered he is, and he really just, he's so smart, and he is very, very polite. He's always, yes sir, yes ma'am, please and thank you. He's a great kid. I'm really lucky. I'm very, very lucky that I get to be a part of both of their lives and then I get to watch him grow up, and it's really awesome. It's rewarding. I think I talked about that earlier, and I enjoy it. I love my family. Trying times in our relationship, there's been a lot, to be honest. It's hard being a couple in the public eye. I mean, not that you guys ever see that kind of personal side of our relationship, I guess. You know, you guys just see, oh, happy, everything's great, everything's fine kind of thing. But, you know, we get a lot of hate and it's stressful. And then I think too that the type of content that Cody mainly focuses on, it takes an emotional toll on him too. And also, we're both very stubborn people and we both have very strong opinions and very strong feelings, and even just when it comes to parenting too, it's difficult coming in as an outsider and kind of just growing pains and trying to figure each other out. And him having had John by himself for a long time, obviously he's very protective, and just, I don't know, learning how to communicate with each other too. But really, I think that listening to like guides on communication and guides on having healthy relationships and things like that has really helped a lot. I think that's just a part of any relationship. You have to learn how to communicate effectively with each other without stepping on each other's toes and in a respectful and loving way. It's hard when you're both stubborn and outspoken not to just resort to yelling at each other and be like, no, you're wrong, no, I'm right, and just, you know, you still want to kill each other sometimes. But at the end of the day, you love each other and you both have the same goal in mind, and you want the best thing for your family and for each other, and you just have to keep that in mind. What's it like being a public figure? Do you enjoy it? And is there anything you would change about how you got to this point? So I actually wrote a blog post recently, sort of about what it's like being in the public eye. I do enjoy it. It definitely has its ups and downs. Everyone has their opinions. Unfortunately, not all of them are great. And that's fine. And I've been learning how to deal with that. Cody obviously has been dealing with it a lot longer than I have, and he gets it 100 times worse than I ever have and probably ever will, and I don't know how he does it. And I know that it bothers him a lot more than he lets on, and he's got much thicker skin than I do. You know, me, mostly it's people who are like, oh, you're such a slut, oh, you're such a bitch, oh, you're fake, oh, you got boobs, oh, you're talking about getting Botox, you plastic asshole. I don't know. People just, they have their opinions and they're just angry sometimes. I don't know why people are so angry. I think right now people are just pissed off at the world and they just need someone to, I don't know, throw their shitty anger at, and whatever. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like Cody. At the end of the day, we're happy. I'm happy with my life. He's happy with his life. I'm sorry that you don't like us, that you don't like yourself. But, you know, I enjoy what I do. I love my community. I love his community. The vast majority of y'all are so supportive and so kind and just very, very generous. The good outweighs the bad, and it always will, and it always does. So I think I said in my blog post, you know, it's like you have one person who wants to be a turd, but you've got like 100 people behind that one person who will defend you and support you and whatever, and that's all that matters, really. Best White Claw flavor and why it's not watermelon. I feel you on that one. I mean, watermelon, I don't mind it so much, but it's not my favorite. But I think that you guys will probably disagree with me on my favorite. I think my favorite flavor is actually lemon. If you ever want a delicious drink, if you do the lemon White Claw with a little bit of gin, some fresh squeezed lime juice, and a couple slices of cucumber. It's delicious. It's so good. It's really, really refreshing, especially on a hot day. It would probably be good right now during the summer. It's good. I like it. How tall are you? You seem to be taller than the homeless guy you live with. I am 5'7". He is taller than me. He's 5'11". He says he's king of the manlets. What is a donut's most annoying habit? What can I say that's not going to start a big fight? He snores. Is that a habit though? Or is that just like a human thing? Is that just like part of being a human being, or is that a habit? He leaves sunflower seeds on freaking everything. They're all in his truck. There's just like sunflower seeds everywhere. He puts them in like a container. Well, usually, I don't know. I walked in to his office last night while he was streaming and they were on his desk. And when I went to trade in my old car, there were sunflower seeds in my car, and I don't even eat sunflower seeds. I don't like sunflower seeds. It's gross. Pick up your seeds. What's your opinion on Twinkies? How long do you plan on staying on social media? That's very opposite ends of the spectrum there. I really don't have an opinion on Twinkies. I don't eat Twinkies. The fact that they just like don't go bad, I don't know, I think that's kind of gross. That's not natural. I don't want to eat that. I don't really think about Twinkies. And I plan on being on social media as long as you guys will have me. I mean, until I can't like make a living doing it anymore, I guess. Seems like a pretty good gig for now. I'm pretty happy doing it. How do you feel about the UN intervention in Katanga during the Congo crisis? What? And last but not least, the question that you guys asked more often than anything else. How did you and Donut meet? I'm simple. The Cody and Kaylee story from the beginning. How did you meet Donut? Where and when did you meet Donut? What's the story behind meeting Donut? So, the simple version of this is that we met on Tinder. Thanks, Tinder. We both were on Tinder, kind of as like a last ditch effort. I was working in a brewery and going to school full time, coming home to my cat and just living alone, and had given up basically altogether on relationships. We actually both had our like radiuses set to only 30 miles, I think it was, and he was living several hours away from me at the time and happened to be in town overnight seeing Joe Rogan with some friends, and I guess opened up the app and we popped up for each other, and that was that. We swiped on each other and I saw his picture which was the cat. He and Squirt, we got to talking and we sent each other a bunch of stupid memes, and he ended up streaming and I watched him stream, and the next day I got off work and he was like, this is a long shot, but my friends are cooking out. If you want to come see me. I stalked the hell out of him on social media. And honestly, if he hadn't been so easy to stalk on social media, I definitely wouldn't have gone to see him, because for all I knew, I was gonna get axe murdered. And I texted one of my best friends and went back and forth, and I'm like, oh my God, should I do this? Like, I don't even know this guy. I was like, you know, if you don't hear from me in a few hours, just like text my mom and text, you know, my other best friend and let them know what's happened. Because I probably died, or I'm tied up in somebody's basement. I brought him some beer and I drove several hours and we cooked out, and it was awesome. Like, we hit it off right away. It was great. Like, I got to meet John, and John and I arm wrestled. Then I don't know, Cody and I, we jumped on a trampoline. We were just kind of hooked on each other immediately after that. It only took, I think it was like 13 days for us to drop the I love you on each other. Then I think it was maybe a month into our relationship that we moved in together, and I had never lived with somebody that I dated before. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that, like moving in together that quickly, but it just worked for us. I feel like we just kind of knew right away, and I always thought that that was really stupid when people were like, oh, when you know, you know. And I just sort of made fun of people for that, but I don't know. It works for us, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. But anyway, thank you guys so much for all of your questions. Seriously, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed it even more than I thought that I would, and I appreciate all of the thoughtful questions and even the weird ones. You guys are freaking awesome, and I appreciate that you wanted to get to know me more, and I appreciate all of your support as always. I would like to do this again sometime, so we should do this more. I'm gonna make some more vlogs. I'm gonna put some more content out on the channel, so y'all just let me know what you want to see, and let's do this. Let's make a date of it. I love you guys. We're gonna do this again.